Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now a while back I made two of these. These are watches in the style of a Panerai with an ETA6497 clone movement in them. This particular one came from parts with AliExpress, and I made another one from parts from eBay. Now, as you can see, the one from AliExpress is still working. However, the other one is not. As you can see, I've already taken the movement out of this watch. The issue that I had is that the setting mechanism, the crown, would go in and would turn, but then it would slip as it was winding. And so I took the watch apart to investigate, thinking maybe I had a stripped gear somewhere. And I found out that the culprit was this fella here. This is the setting lever jumper. And today my goal is to replace this actual 6497 setting lever jumper on the clone movement. Now I do have a new toy that we're going to play with today. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on it, if you prefer that I just use the overhead camera, but we have an overhead microscope now. And it can get pretty detailed, as you can see there. So what I'm going to do is leave both cameras running, and you tell me what you think. So there is our movement. Let me try to get a little more focus in here. There's our setting lever jumper right here. And as you can see right about there, that piece is broken off. It is supposed to look like that. So the goal today will be to simply just take this off and replace it with the other one. Now, it looks like it's only being held on by one screw. We're just going to take our screwdriver here. Again, I'm not really sure what happened. I have a feeling that maybe the stem on this watch is a little too long. And so with the Panerai style watches, you have this guard here that keeps the crown from being engaged. I'm wondering if maybe I made the crown stem too long on this particular watch. Take our screw out and put it over here. I have no idea what else is required to get this out. Thankfully, that was it. As you can see, these are little movement holders that I 3D printed. Nothing spectacular at all. We have to get our crown stem out. We need a much bigger screwdriver for that. I actually had to order two of these because the first setting lever jumper that I bought from France, and I never got notification that it shipped, so I ordered another one, and then finally the one from France showed up. So the one that I just replaced in here is the one from France. Okay. Make sure our screw is loose enough for the crown stem to go in. Sounds like it. I'll tighten it back down. Looks like I've got some adjusting to do, because that should be winding the watch, and it's definitely not winding the watch. And that should be setting the time. So I'm going to pause and take a look at this and come back in just a little bit. All right, so after some research, I found that the lever that was underneath this lever was not connected to the winding gear here. So now we are winding and we are setting. So now I just need to pull the crown stem and put everything back together. I did have one of you guys ask me about these dials, specifically if it was possible to unsandwich these and put your own kind of loom in here. And I do have one to test that out on. I just haven't gotten around to that video yet. Just bear with me. All right. Tighten down our... Making sure that the screws that hold the dial in place are fixed properly. I'm so excited to get this thing back up and running. These are some of my favorite watches. At least of the ones that I've built. Got some plastic tweezers here that I got from another project. Just checking now on the dial to see if the hour hand is level. Seems pretty good to me. On to the minute hand. It's the second hand that's a nightmare on these things because it's so tiny. Check both the hands again. Make sure they're not touching. And then we'll give it a spin around the dial. There we have it. Now, last but not least, second hand. I've tried a lot of different ways of putting this on. Some of you had suggested Rodico. It's a good idea. I've found that the Rodico At least for me, it just doesn't seem to want to let go. Whereas with this, I don't seem to be able to get a good enough grip on it, so maybe I can find something that's a good balance. We'll go to some brass tweezers here. Checking again. None of the hands are hitting each other. Now we're pulling the crown, loosening our back. Adding the movement back in. Now, just set these little movement holders in place. That one in just enough so that I can do the same for the other. Sorry about that, I had to go on a little treasure hunt. Could not find the other movement holder here. There we go. Now we just need to tighten our crown screw. Making sure that we can wind. All right, we are setting and winding. So now we can put our back on. And last but not least, the crown guard. There you go. I have repaired my Panerai Homage ETA6497 by replacing the setting lever jumper. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them down below. I'd appreciate any feedback you have about that microscope, whether or not you'd like me to use it again or whether or not this is enough. I know per some of your comments that I seem to be very heavy-handed and that I should take some more lessons. Well, I'm learning to do all of this by myself. I'm watching, a handful of other creators and their videos. I am just not very dexterous, or I'm not very good with certain things like this, but I'm trying to learn, which is why you're seeing all of this on really inexpensive equipment and really inexpensive watches for that matter. So if you have any questions or comments, like I said, please leave them down below. As always, my name is Bryant. This is the Last Stop Watch channel. Have a great day.